All right, what's going on? It's Z Voms back here again. And I promised in the last episode that we would talk about a little bit about crypto. And, as I'm sitting here watching my podcast and everything like that, I was like, bro, I need to talk about this stuff. This stuff is just way too crazy not to talk about. So, anyway, yeah. So, it is almost 4 o'clock, 3:56 p.m. And my day's been going good so far. I've been catching up on some news, on Crypto Telegraph. You know, I'm one of those hodlers, so with this kind of bullish market action that we're looking at right now, I'm kind of literally holding on for dear life, trying to ride these things through, have my long-term investments going. So we're good. Everything's going great. So I'm not going to give too much background because a lot of the information regarding crypto you can find on other YouTube channels, such as like what's blockchain, what is a cryptocurrency, like all that basic stuff. So I'm going to, if there's anyone that actually listens to this that doesn't know what blockchain is or something like that, just look it up on YouTube. If there's any term that you don't understand, it's all out there. So that's why I don't want to give too much background information. I feel like I could talk about this stuff for legitimately hours. So anyway, Dogecoin is the number 6 largest coin right now, at currently sitting at 38.4 cents. That pisses me off, everyone. That makes me mad because Dogecoin is just a menace to crypto, honestly. As an actual investor who looks into these coins or tokens and does research on the companies that either made them or is backed behind them, Dogecoin has nothing. It's just do your research on Doge. The thing that's sad is that people come to me saying like, "Well, I made $1,000 on Dogecoin." I'm like, "Well, what other coins are you invested in?" And they're like literally in none. And I'm like, "Cool, dude. You basically bought like a Hot Wheels car that got, it gained a couple dollars of value, like." And then they call themselves crypto enthusiasts. Like, come on, bro. Anyway, I was doing some more research on XRP because XRP is my largest holding and they're my favorite by far. And the company Ripple behind them is trying to basically make XRP as a border-to-border payment system that's like live liquidity and everything like that. And I was coming across a news article on the World Economic Forum saying how they want XRP to be the world reserve currency, which cool and all, but we're not going to get into that specifically because that could be considered conspiracy. What I do want to talk about is a little bit of conspiracy that's behind XRP. Now, the government was looking to work with them to do exactly what they're intended to, which is cross-border payments. And that was in, I believe, 2017. They were looking to do that. And then recently, last December, so December of 2020, the SEC came after them with a lawsuit saying that they're an unregistered security, tanking the price down to like, I think as low as like 17 cents, and it was at a high of like 60 cents at the time, I believe. So it tanked a lot. And now it's back. It rallied up to $1.62. So that token specifically is doing absolutely fantastic, and I think it's only got, up to go from here, or farther to go from here. But I want to talk about is the secrecy of crypto within the government. And it's very kind of exhausting almost for me to talk about because there's so much information behind it, and I want to give so much information, but I just don't simply think I could talk that long. So we're going to kind of keep it specific, but if you notice, a lot of people have the misunderstanding of crypto, saying it has no value, it's not fungible, I can't hold it, there's no utility, what does it do? It's just digital money, like, blah, 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 blah. And then they fail to realize that most of these coins actually have specific utility that provide its value, right? So XRP specifically is specifically and intricately designed to facilitate cross-border payments and facilitate active liquidity, right? So you can send XRP, you could send, like, let's say $1 million over to somebody in Mexico, miles, thousands and hundreds of thousands of miles away. And I believe right now it's less than 4 seconds, right? You can't do that with any other bank. You can't do that with even like Chase, right? All that person needs is a wallet that supports XRP. So they would have a receiving address and an internet connection. And quite frankly, they don't even need an internet connection, because you can send it to that address, and the only way they'll be able to access it or send it somewhere is if they have internet, basically. But they can still hold it without internet. They just have to have that address on board and be able to give it to the person that's sending money. So the reason why that's amazing is because currently a current transaction of you paying with your debit card, it goes through 3 third-party people, then it finally gets through to your bank, and then it gets approved, blah blah blah. That it happens pretty fast. But think about how long you keep your card in that reader. I mean, this, when you're paying for something at like let's say the gas station, XRP, you could literally scan a QR code, and it would already have the price input, and all you do is send. 4 seconds, boom, done. And that's on a large level of payments everywhere. I mean, if you're doing this with billions of dollars, that's going to take days. You got to transfer it from a different type of currency. You got to go through multiple people, and you got to hope and pray you didn't send it to the wrong routing address or something, right? I guess that's true for crypto as well, but it takes a hell of a lot longer. So anyway, why I like XRP so much specifically is because of the work they've done with banks, financial institutions, and most importantly, central banks. They're helping central banks develop a CBDC on their ledger. If you don't know what ledger is, go look it up. And I'm not talking about the hardware wallet either. I'm talking about the database that they use. And I think that this token specifically is amazing because they're doing so much undercover work. It's insane. And it's all public. Like, you can see, even the World Economic Forum has mentioned it. But they still, and this is a touchy subject, but even the media per se is hiding cryptocurrency specifically. They don't want you to know it can do all this stuff. They want you to think cryptocurrency is like Doge, basically, right? Bitcoin's a scam, right? Bitcoin specifically, its value is negotiable. But for instance, you have Cardano, who is basically like Ethereum. You can write smart contracts, but has a whole different protocol. And there's competing companies. They all have insane utility. The amount of technology that's behind it and the software behind it to make these tokens function is insane. Even if you get into NFTs, you can basically transfer the whole entire stock market over to crypto with NFTs. Let's say you only want to facilitate, certain shares, right? So let's say, keep Even's number, you create 10 shares of your company, right? And your company's worth $10. Each share, if you give out 100% of your company in shares, each share is worth $1. You can buy multiple shares and NFTs. And it's the most secure technology that we have as of right now. Currently has not had a successful hack, right? You could have pretty much every economic market transfer over to the cryptocurrency market and be completely decentralized. The only downfall is that you're potentially getting rid of a lot of jobs. But so back to XRP because I love this coin. Since Ripple, which is the company that uses XRP to facilitate cross-border payments, since they're doing so much underground work, it's crazy to me how many people hate it, how many people bash on it, how many people don't hold it, and how many people honestly are unaware of it. I mean, it's okay. So Bitcoin per se is around 50% dominance in the crypto market. So you could pretty much add up every other token's value, and it would equal Bitcoin. And there's thousands, so that's pretty incredible. So Bitcoin's market cap is at just about 1 trillion, right? XRP, 74 billion. That's it. That its market cap isn't even 75 billion. It's 74.8 billion. Now, just to put it in perspective, gold is at like I think 11 trillion. Bitcoin at 57,000 for its price is at a 1 trillion market cap. Like XRP specifically, if it were to take over banks and the I'm sorry, what's that market called that has like that holds option like trade options stuff like that? The derivatives market. Like we're talking about 5-figure trillion, like double-digit trillions, right? Like 10 trillion, 11 trillion into this. Which means it's going to be at like I think the calculations say like $20, and it's currently at $1.63. So if you bought this when it was like 17 cents, 25 cents, that's like life-changing wealth. And it's possible because of the way XRP is going about its current standing with the government. Other than the SEC's lawsuit, which there's a whole like bunch of conspiracies behind that, whether they're suing them to bring the price down so that, you know, big boys can get into it or whales can get into it at a cheaper price, or whether it's a price suppression, or they don't want XRP to come out because it would destroy the banks. Like there's so many things that go into it. It's actually absolutely insane. So why I'm in XRP is because I love crypto and I love the utility behind it, and I love researching these companies. And I personally think that XRP specifically has the most amount of utility in terms of large scale. And with XRP, we can then facilitate, like I said, those cross-border payments, and in result have a sustainable large-scale market, economic market for the world to basically reside on. And why that's so important is because, well, as anyone that's probably listening knows, we're not on the gold standard anymore. And the price of the dollar is manipulated. They print money, all that stuff. And that's not conspiracy. That's all fact. So we need something like crypto. We need something like this to make the economy stable. Like, yeah, we're still going to have fluctuation, of course. That's just how economies work. But we need to make sure that we're not like pulling a 2008, basically. We don't want to give away these stupid bonds that have no value and sell them for outrageous prices and then hope the market doesn't crash. And then when it does, even the people who are in it become like in desperation, right? But speaking of crypto, the reason why XRP is so important is because of how the economy works, right? So if we take that 2008 example I just said about the bonds that they were selling, well, the way the economy works is very similar. If we're giving China our U.S. bonds, which is our debt, in exchange for goods and services, right? Then, and they're not holding USD because holding USD would be silly for them. The reason why we're able to keep their prices so low for services and products is because of the bonds that we give them. So we're trying to keep the prices down and get it from them, right? The problem is that the dollar is worth nothing except what we give it, right? Which is why we're able to print money and keep the amount that a dollar buys fairly similar. So we're given these bonds just like 2008, except on a global scale. And when you keep printing money and those bonds can no longer override the inflation rate that U.S. is creating, we will then have a crash because the bubble pops. Because if you look into any research, it's not that money printing is inherently bad, other than it literally is. It's that you can only do it for so long. And the reason why they've had to print such a large amount in 2020 and 2021 is because we're at that rate where if we don't print that amount of money, that it would have crashed already. But we're almost to the point where we can no longer print anymore and still withstand this current bullish economy. So with that crash coming soon, foreshadowing, I suppose, How are we going to stop that from happening in the future? And how are we going to now level out the markets? And some would say the poor become rich and the rich become poor, swapping wealth. I believe that's what's crypto, in all honesty. I mean, and I don't think it's a stretch at all. If anything, I think it's like the smallest claim that a person can make. Like such advanced technology, and you're not rolling it out immediately. Like why? Like this technology is nothing that we've ever had before. It's so advanced. It's so advanced, and we're not even like no one even knows about it. Like I think when I looked it up last, like 2% of people actually knew in detail what crypto was. Like knew something besides Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? The two highest coins. You know, I'm talking about like blockchain and like how it actually works, not like, oh, I can buy Bitcoin and the price goes up, you know? Like not like that. It's like 2%. I think it's actually less than 1% when I looked it up, but last time I looked it up or heard about it, it was around 2%. And if you think about it, it makes sense because the total market cap for the entire cryptocurrency space is only at just above 2 million. It's at 2.2, sorry, not 2 million, 2.2 trillion. Right? That's small. That's small sound stuff. Everyone knows about gold. Not too many people hold gold anymore, but that's still at $11 trillion market cap. Its value is still high. So, if I think that we have so much room to grow. I think that the amount of room to grow for me is just absolutely crazy. Like think about like people who actually hold crypto when their families start getting involved in it and everyone kind of knows about crypto and how it works. You know, maybe not in depth like exactly what blockchain is or, you know, how they operate on certain nodes, you know, maybe not that in depth. But too in depth of like, you know, how they know credit cards. Like they know that there's a CVV expiration and a number on there that, you know, you can swipe, read the chip, or send that information to somebody else. You know what I mean? Like on that like beginner level, I suppose. So imagine when people know about that and they start using these cryptos to buy their Teslas, or they start using them to send money to their friend across the country, or which you can do with like Venmo, I suppose, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at, the significance of this. I'd also like to mention that, yes, you can do that with Venmo. You can send payments pretty much anywhere in the U.S., as far as I understand, with a very small fee, if anything. And XRP, I think people were saying that they were sending like quarter billions, hundreds of millions of XRP cross country, and it's costing them like pennies. Like 0.1 of like an XRP, right? Because there's costs in crypto. You can look that up, burn rates, gas fees, stuff like that. Those are all costs of facilitating transactions. And I was like, wow. You probably have to spend like 1-2% of that, you know, 100 million to send it across. It's a lot. That's a lot of money that you're not being able to transfer over there. So, you know, this is great stuff. So anyway, I'm going to continue this on another date and maybe give some cryptocurrency updates because it's what I'm currently interested in. Put like literally half a day of research into every single day. Because I know I pretty much rambled on about XRP the whole time and the world economy and how XRP is going to help. But I mean, there's so many. Like right here, there's Cardano, Polkadot, Uniswap, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin. If we scroll farther down, you have things like Theta, Holo Token, Synthetics. Like all these have like completely different use cases and all provide different value, right? Wrap Bitcoin, you know, USDC coin. So yeah, I think honestly, it's going to be a mix of the channel is going to start to be a mix of talking about life and stuff that happens that's foolish, and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency specifically. This stuff is just way too interesting to me to not talk about it. And wanting to be a cryptocurrency broker in the future is like a dream of mine. So look at that, the 24 volume of let's see, where was that at? Whatever. Anyway, something was at almost like $1 trillion for the 24-hour volume, which is weird in combination of other coins. But anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. I'm going to put some more BioFreeze on my arms because I'm super sore. Maybe drink some more water, make another cup of coffee, and I'll be thinking about the next podcast I'm going to make. So that's it. Z Vomps. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.